So, good morning, good morning, good morning. You know, we start a couple of minutes early to give me a chance to share the broadcast. And that's one of the tips from yesterday is sharing your broadcast. So, I do certainly hope that you are doing that on your own. I hope that somebody took some imperfect action yesterday. And if you missed yesterday's broadcast, I'll add the link to it uh, in in the description after the broadcast. But yesterday's broadcast was about creating your own successful Facebook live broadcast. So we're actually going to take another deep dive today, and today is going to be how to get booked to speak. As you all know, my husband right now, good morning, Gwen, is in New Orleans speaking at the Blacks in Government conference. And this year, he and I both have spoken over uh, 60 times so far. And I'm going to get that exact number for us later on because it's just that important. But I want to be able to show you how to use these same tips for yourself or for someone that you want to help. You may decide that this becomes a business that you want to take, helping speakers get booked. But I'm going to take you through all of the steps that I take and it will be awesome. So please share, say good morning, click on like, and we'll make it happen. I'm doing some housekeeping, and sharing right now. So we'll get started right at 9 o'clock. And I'm excited about the whole shabizzle. Oh, and our guest in the second half, you think you know something now. He's going to teach you how to take what you know and print money, baby. And y'all, some of y'all who have worked with me are familiar with the low-hanging fruit exercise. But Larry Beecham is one of my coaches, and I respect his tips so much that I wanted to share him with you guys. So definitely be ready for Larry Beecham. Matter of fact, let me get his website ready. For whatever reason, I am not connecting to my share right now. So I got to let that run for a moment. Let me go ahead and get my music up. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all know my honey bunny is not here this morning, so I'm running the whole boat solo. But it's going to be good because I have an amazing agenda and I'm excited about our special guest. So all of that is going to be really, really cool. And we'll be getting started in 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Yes. I am Lisa Santiago McNeil, and this is Let's Talk About It on the ESPTV7 network on SIBN and right here on Facebook Live. Like. Thank you for joining. I'm excited to have you here. I'm looking forward to building and growing together with you and getting right into today's subject. So if you don't mind, take 1 second and just share to your page, share to your groups. Just share. Sharing is caring. So I really look forward to seeing you doing that, and I'm taking another second to do that. Let's share it. Thank you for the likes. And we're going to level up as speakers today. So getting booked to speak. I know that there was a couple of folks that were particularly interested in this topic. If you're here, go ahead and type in hashtag book to speak because you have something to say. Hey, Nubia, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. We are rocking and rolling. And I am going through to really get this message out because there is so much juicy bits that I'm going to put in here. Level up and get booked to speak. That's what we're going to do today. And I promise you, I'm going to give you, all right, Nubia, hashtag book to speak. That's what I'm talking about. Letitia, thank you so much. I got on my, what is this? My paparazzi. I have a paparazzi pusher, and she makes sure that I get at least $5 worth of love a week for myself. It's just my little thank you to me. So shout out to gorgeous, simply gorgeous jewelry for paparazzi right there. Matter of fact, I have two things. I have my ring and I got my necklace. That's what my grandbaby calls it, a necklace. Mama Lisa, can I wear your necklace? So I'm wearing my necklace. We want to get this shared out so that I can really help some folks to level up in their speaking. So please take a moment and share. And share. Level up and get booked to speak. Now, we ready to rock and roll. Shout out to my husband in his absence. I don't know how I'm going to get back to having him in the seat with me because I'm sitting in the center and working the controls all at the same time. It's all easier. Now all you hear is Sierra. Level up. That's right. It's that important. It's time for you to level up. Let me know who wants to level up. And speaking of leveling up, I decided at the end of this year is going to be about teaching people how and what I did to get to here because I'm getting ready to level up. And so there's no sense in me holding this space down when this space needs to be filled with another diva that's ready to move up from where she is because I got to level up and go to the next level. So today's broadcast is quite simply get booked to speak. If you did not watch yesterday's broadcast and you do not yet have a professional Facebook broadcast and you do not currently have a professional Facebook broadcast and you do not currently have a professional Facebook live broadcast with your tools and being able to share your screen and invite guests and all of that stuff, you need to go back and watch yesterday's broadcast, and you need to be on the lookout for a training that I'm doing on how to get to book to speak that will include learning how to create your professional Facebook live broadcast so that you can, all right, Lakeisha, so that you can attract the right people to your page. Lakeisha said, don't forget to shop my handcrafted one-of-a-kind signature jewelry pieces, Ellie's signature collection. Okay, I need one. I need a signature piece. Hey, Precious, good morning. Shout out to Precious Pauling. She took a discovery session with me on yesterday because she's ready to level up. Precious's testimony is on my page. We're going to get her leveled up, getting her more opportunities to speak, more opportunities to earn, more opportunities to build and grow, because that's what it's all about today. Get booked to speak. So, the first and foremost, most important thing is know how to actually speak. I know that this seems to be like obvious, right? But as obvious as it is, I have had the unfortunate displeasure to hear people speak who have not yet mastered the art of putting together a story, capturing an audience, entertaining them while educating them. Because speaking from the front of the room is really about edutainment. If you want people to bring you back, you have to keep them entertained, and I don't care how good your content is. So how do you get your, how do you learn how to speak? How do you get your speaking up to par? There's lots of ways. The first is, of course, keep speaking. But the second is Toastmasters. You're very welcome, Precious. Precious said, yes, Queen, amazing day. Thanks to you. I so needed that push and love. Thank you for seeding my soul. You're very welcome. Not only did we have discovery session, but very seldom, this is very seldom, and I think 5 people have been invited to come with me to an event that I go to as my guest. But I took Precious and her husband to a entrepreneurial event that gave her the opportunity to meet with some amazing people and level up because she's ready, and also to help her husband to be able to level up with his catering business. So Toastmasters, join or visit a Toastmasters club. Now there's 2 reasons for that. One is, of course, to learn how to speak effectively within a certain period of time, know how to connect with your audience, know how to use your platform, use your room, not use so many uhs and ums, which I typically don't do. I don't know what that is about today. But it's also an untapped opportunity to speak in front of groups. You see that once you become a member of Toastmasters, and we actually have one, so I'll go ahead and shout out our Toastmasters Club. It is the ESP Toastmasters, and our website is esptoastmasters.org. So you can definitely contact me if you want to be a guest speaker at our Toastmasters Club. Good morning, Monica, Future Leader LLC in Philadelphia. Monica is making it happen. Hold it down. Getting booked to speak. So Toastmasters, why would you want to speak at a Toastmasters? Well, here's the thing. If you are a motivational speaker, if you are an inspirational speaker, if you are a speaker who is looking to inspire people to get to the next level, I'm going to tell you the hardest part is making sure that you're speaking to the right people. And I don't know how else to put that to you. I don't care how good you are, everybody doesn't want to hear you. There are people that don't want to hear anything except for what's going on with the housewives. They're not interested in anything other than ratchetness. And as much as you might know, and I didn't say think, I said no, as much as you might know that what you have to say is thebomb.com and is going to change their lives, let me tell you what I've decided, and you can choose what you want. I've decided that I am not doing the heavy lifting, okay? So people need to come to me ready to move, build, and grow in their lives. I cannot be the one to convince you that you are destined for greatness. And that's what a lot of people are starting out trying to do. Convince people that they are destined for greatness. What I will do is encourage you once you have realized that you have been destined for greatness and give you the what you need to continue when you don't feel like you're destined to greatness to move forward. And I provide you and equip you with the tools that you need to walk into your greatness. But what I'm not doing anymore is digging down into the hole of, come on, y'all can say it, potential. Not interested in potential anymore. Potential is the most misleading thing in the world. Hashtag no more potential. Here's why. How many of y'all dated somebody because they had potential? And then found out that all they had was potential. They did not have drive. They did not have desire. They did not have work ethic. Potential is not enough. So speaking at places like Toastmasters and even joining a club like Toastmasters means that in the very first place, tell it no more potential. In the very first place, you are dealing with people of a higher caliber of mindset who are looking to be positively motivated. They're interested in personal development and self-improvement. Come on. You cannot tell me that is not good ground. All right, now, potential is not enough. You better say that, Precious. Potential is not enough. Potential is misleading. It's just as bad as fool's gold. It can be. I know I ain't never lied, because I done had a couple of brothers with plenty potential, and they was fine. And they was sitting on the couch every day with their fine self, all of that potential, doing nothing. Not interested in your potential. So get surrounded by people who also have more than potential. They have drive, they have ethic, they have charisma, and they're wanting to do that. And where do you find them? Well, Toastmasters is one place. Another place to find them is in opportunity meetings. And I know that people are like, I don't want another opportunity meeting. I don't want another thing. But let me tell you something. Part of the benefit of, good morning, Roger. Welcome. Book to Speak. All right. Book to Speak. One of the benefits of going and being a part of an MLM or a club or an organization is that the people that are connected to that have decided that they are going to be responsible for their own lives. And I think it's really just important to find an opportunity that you want to connect to that connects with your ancillary goals, right? So you don't want, good morning, Monica Pearson. We are talking about Book to Speak. And our first tip was actually to know how to speak. That's the first part. Actually know how to speak. And the second part is to speak to people who want to hear you speak and where you find them at, which is twofold. You can learn how to speak at Toastmasters, and you can find people that would be interested in what you have to say at a Toastmasters already. Responsibility is a wealth magnet. Responsibility is a wealth magnet. Elaborate on that, Nubia. I would like to hear more about that concept. So, how else can you get Book to Speak? Well, the people that you know are a wealth of opportunities, especially if you know good people. I personally believe in tapping into the centers of influence, people that know other people. The other thing for people that you know is people that are event planners, people that already plan events that assemble audiences that would be receptive to what it is that you do, which is also very, very important. It's important that you pick an audience and then identify where that audience is and where they hang out, both virtually and physically, because it's important for you to become a celebrity in a market. You want to become a celebrity within your market. You want to become the go-to person when they want someone to inspire in this area, when they want somebody to coach and train in this area. If you're the relationship coach, if you're the sales coach, if you're the coach's coach like me, you want to be a celebrity in that market. As the coach's coach, it's my job to communicate to people that I know what you need to do in order to become a successful coach with a full practice or consultant, as opposed to just good at what you do. There's so many of you guys are already amazing at what you do, and I get the benefit to talk to you about it, and you tell me all kind of awesome stuff, but it's like you're being hidden under a rock. So getting booked to speak requires knowing how to speak. So let me go ahead and read. Thank you for that clarification. So Nubia says, we're all tasked with the ability to simply respond, not react. When we operate from this presence, we allow the abundance that is meant specifically for us to reach us. How? By being in alignment. The time to hustle has long since passed. Now we are boosted by living and operating from alignment. Being in line with what you are supposed to be bringing to the universe is an amazing way to become a celebrity in your field, because you live it, you breathe it, and you are it. You are the one that they think of when they want to see the model of what they need. So Nubia, thank you. That was awesome. That was awesome, awesome, awesome. Getting booked to speak. Also, contacting people, also contacting organizers and leaders. So these are people that are already head of groups that you want to speak to. Now, first, please understand that your objective must be always to give and to equip, and give value and equip confidence, success, whatever the things you're called to equip people for. And that needs to happen absolutely even before you are before you come to the place where you should be asking for money. So am I saying you got to get booked for free and you got to get booked to speak for free? That is not what I'm saying. And the session that I spoke with yesterday with Precious and with many of my coaches, I show you how you can take a unpaid speaking engagement with the right talk, and if it's the right audience, and make the money that you would have earned even if they had paid you. And I do it over and over again, time and time again, just understanding how it all works and how to maximize your experience. So pick an audience, identify who you are supposed to be talking to, who you are called to serve, and who you can serve the best, and then set forth to serve them. Amen. Good morning, Tara Lyles, Empowerment Travel Diva, taralyles.intellitravel.com. Please put your link in there. And we are talking about getting booked to speak. Tara is one that is a up and coming speaker. We're ready for her to pull out, and she's working on her book right now, and I just can't wait to get that young lady in the front of the room to let her spill over with her dynamic energy and commitment to other people's success. Which brings us to another tip to get booked to speak, is to publish. It's been said, publish or perish. When endeavoring to speak, it's often a sign when you're not published. And lots of organizations that are looking for speakers won't even consider you if you have not published. If you don't have a book, that's okay. You can create an ebook and publish an ebook if that's the first level or the first tier that you can get out there. But it's really about getting published and showing that you are the subject matter expert in a particular area so that you can be connected with that area of success. All the things to get you booked to speak that so many people overlook are your marketing materials. That is critical. It's the representation of who you are before you are ever in front of the deciding person. It's what you leave behind with them after you've had the meeting. So that's your bio, your speaker one sheet, your business cards, and then, of course, your website and your Facebook business page or your LinkedIn profile. All of those things are a reflection of you and your professionalism and what it is that you are. Another way to get booked to speak, it should be obvious, create your own events. You get to decide who speaks at your events. But I do suggest that you include other speakers to speak at your events. You don't want to create a it's all about me environment, particularly starting out. You want to make sure that your audience knows that you are giving, that you know what you're talking about, and that you want to see them fully comprehend and understand what it is that you offer as well. We're at 9:20 and I'm moving a little bit fast because today at 9:30 we have an amazing guest that's coming on this show, Mr. Larry Beecham, who is the champion builder. He has coached myself and my husband. We love what he has done with his intellectual capital. We embrace it so much that we have applied it in our lives. All right, let me save you time and money on your next getaway. That's TaraLyles.intellitravel.com. Amen. So we're going to have him on. Now, speaking at schools, upper, lower, elementary. So upper schools, college, lower high schools, elementary schools. Get yourself on the approved vendor list. Get yourself on the speaker, on the you got to get cleared to go into the schools where there are minor children. So get on that list and approved volunteer or whatever the case is, and find out, connect with schools that are in your direct area, connect with schools that are Title I schools. Here's the thing, they may not have money in their budget for the speaker, but they often have money in their budget for training materials. So you can decide to agree to speak for free, but that they would buy 10, 15, 20, 50 copies of your book at a discounted price, which we know is still going to give you some money, because if your book costs about $3 to make wholesale, and then you're able to give them a $15 discount, letting them buy 10, 20, 30, 50 books at $15, you can actually make some money there. So that's another place, as well as using that opportunity to create other materials for yourself. So when you are speaking, always maximize every speaking engagement. Take pictures, have someone capture video clips for you, and repurpose that information on your website, as well as take video testimonials at the end of your talk from whomever is willing to give them, and repurpose that stuff on your website. Because organizations that are on the corporate level, if you want to go into corporate speaking, that are looking for speakers, will often ask you for content, and they prefer audio or video content. So that's what you want to go for. Volunteer. Well, Lisa, you keep giving me all of these free things to do. Well, yeah, because until someone knows you, they're going to be less likely to pay you. But if you volunteer your time at organizations that you want to speak at, guess what? You get to find out who the real decision makers are. And by knowing the decision makers and the gatekeepers, as well as the schedules of upcoming events and activities where they would hire speakers, allowing you to then put your marketing materials into the right hands, will help to improve your chances of getting booked. Does that make sense? I need to know. Are we hitting some home runs here, or do you have some questions? We got 6 minutes in this segment before we are going to move on. So if you have questions, now is the time to ask them. The other way to get booked is to, awesome. The other way to get booked is to speak at churches. If you are a motivational or inspirational speaker, even if you are not a minister, but your message is one that conveys what lines up with a particular church's ministry or message that they would want to give, offer yourself to come out and speak to a women's program, a men's program, a youth program. Extend yourself to go and speak at those events for an honorarium. It doesn't have a set price. Ask them if you can set your books up in the outer court or your t-shirts or whatever. And then, of course, going back to step one, know how to actually speak. So how do you find these churches? Well, the first place that I would look for your churches is, of course, your church. Your church affiliations. Every church has like sort of a network of sister churches that they hook up with. But if you want to even branch out further and get really, really industrious, then you can do a search on usachurches.org. usachurches.org. I seriously implore you to have your stuff tight when you are endeavoring to reach out to churches that you do not already have a relationship with. When I say tight, I'm talking about have your marketing materials tight, your bio, your one sheet, your business cards, your Facebook page, your LinkedIn profile, have them tight, and make sure that your Facebook page is ratchet free. Ratchet free. So the other place that you can book a virtual tour and actually get booked to speak is on podcasts. You can be booked on podcasts and virtual events. Imagine if you had the opportunity to speak at 10 virtual events with audiences of a particular size and demographics that are directly aligned with you, and you didn't even have to leave home to do it. Would you be willing to do that? And would you be willing to do the work to reach out and find those podcasts and find those people and look for those individuals to be able to get you booked on podcasts that speak directly to you, that speak directly to your audience, that speak directly to the people who want to hear you speak? Would you be willing to do that legwork in order to get booked to speak? Well, what if that legwork was done for you already? What if there was a list compiled of radio shows and podcasts and blogs that were actually looking for you, and all you had to do was go through the list and pick and choose? Would you be interested in that? Would you be interested in just picking and choosing? I'm going to be here today. I'm going to be there next week. I'm going to be there next month. I'm going to be there next week. I'm going to be there tomorrow night. And it can be all over the country, and you get to do it from home. That is called virtual touring. You can create a virtual tour and promote your book, promote your speaking, promote your coaching without leaving home by just doing a little bit of work. You can cut that work down by getting the list already created for you. Over the past year and a half, I have compiled over 550 radio shows, podcasts, and blogs that are seeking guests, meaning that you're not infringing upon them. They're actually looking for guests, which most people don't understand why. They're looking for guests because they have to keep the content up. They have to keep the content fresh. You only want to listen to the same person over and over and over again for a certain amount of time. So these people have shows. They already have assembled audiences. They already have demographics clear. And my list tells you what their show is, what their demographic is, how long they've been in existence, who their audience is, who they cater to, their website, and their booking contact. That list is fully comprehensible. I started doing it for my husband and realized that in some of the cases that I was coming across, they were groups that didn't match what he did. And I was just throwing them away. And I was like, wait a minute, don't throw it away. Somebody else could use it. So I started compiling it, and now it's a simple spreadsheet. It ain't cute and it ain't pretty. It's the spreadsheet that you can sort and filter based on what your needs are. If you want it, you can order it at bit.ly/radiolist2018 and get yourself a virtual tour created without leaving your home. Well, it's 9:30. So book to speak segment is over, but we are going to move to the money maker segment. The print money formula champion builder is here on the set. He is going to be bringing the knowledge, dropping the science, educating us on how to print money. If you want to print money, somebody type in hashtag print money formula. Hashtag print money formula. Mr. Champion Builder himself, Larry Beecham.
Good morning. How are you?
That was the crowd going wild.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I just want to do an audio check. You know how this technology is. Well, God bless you, my sister. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to come and talk. Let's get into it. What you want to do, my friend? Let's make it happen.
You know we got to print some money.
Well, that's true. That's obviously the topic.
But I would like you to take a moment and introduce yourself however you want to, so that the audience, you know that Brian and I feel tremendously honored to have you in the network of coaches that not only do we call on when we are looking to find something to read, figure out an answer, but also to coach us personally, because you are awesome. But there's so much more to you that I want to make sure that our audience knows, because they think I love everybody. I do love everybody, but I love you. That's right. Hashtag print money formula. Thank you, Tara. Go ahead, Larry.
All right. Well, just to kind of give you a quick background, I'm from Ohio. I used to drive a cable truck in Ohio for about a decade. Larry the Cable Guy, the comedian, and then there's me, the real Larry the Cable Guy. So I drove a cable truck for about 10 years, probably went into 5,000 homes, smelled everything you could smell, see everything you can see. Crazy career. In 2008, while in the alley trying to hook up cable, I almost got electrocuted.
Wow.
The power that's known at the top of the pole was swooping down, and I didn't see it. And put my ladder up, climbed up, went to grab the spot I needed to be, and there was the power line. And I saw it because my ladder sparked. But that's a faith story all by itself, because my ladder's fiberglass, not metal, and fiberglass doesn't spark. All right.
Right.
So
wow.
So I climbed down off the ladder, and I decided that it was time for me to find something else to do. I took a desk job at a real estate office, got downsized 3 months later, and almost lost everything. And ended up getting on the computer to try to find a way to survive while I sat in a order processing department for McGraw-Hill Book Publishing, making $9 an hour. So answer the internet ad, click on the link. This video pops up. I'm watching it. The guy's talking about all this money you can make from home. You know, kind of sounds like the middle of the night stuff, although it was middle of the day when I was watching. And so I just take a chance, clicked on the link, paid the $1 to try it, received a phone call from a lady named Sandra Essex and a guy named Cedric Harris. And they got on the phone with me and convinced me that I should give this thing a try. I paid the $1, tried it for 2 weeks, and they wanted their $50 to keep going, the system that is. Well, I didn't have $50. So I had to go bootleg some cable to
I know that's right. To get your money up.
That's real talk. I had the knowledge, so I basically got in my car and went in the hood and drove around. Say, anybody need a hookup, let me know. I'm in the block, and they come out. But anyway, so that's how. So March of 2009. What's that?
That's about making it do what it do.
Right. So March of 2009, I got online with this system, and my first month I made $30. Not nothing amazing, but I got the check and actually cried, like literal tears, because we were so in dire straits, and I just didn't believe that it would be possible. A cable guy that didn't know anything about this internet stuff could get a result. I just took it on faith and that I would. So my next month, $90. Next month after that, a couple hundred, and then I got really good at lead generation on LinkedIn. Got invited to do a webinar on September 16th of 2009. It was my first personal experience with the idea of the print money formula, which I've now birthed. And what that means is I sat down and wrote out a 60-page how-to of the strategy I've been using on LinkedIn to generate leads and become a top affiliate in the very marketing system I joined 6 months prior. And I went from not knowing anything to 6 months later being on their leaderboard in a bunch of different categories, and LinkedIn was at the heart of it all. So they let me write this book, or I should say, they let me sell this ebook for $37 on the live webinar, and 427 people bought that book within 2 hours of me closing out the webinar. At $1 a watt. It's about 16 grand that I generated. So it was the first time I realized, like, wow, there's something here when it comes in. When you know something and people want it, they're willing to come out and support it. So then I got involved in a direct sales company. From that knowledge, became a top guy in the state of Ohio, and held that title for 8 months until I relocated to Florida, where we live today. Then I started on private coaching and mentoring along the way. In 2014, I got a certified digital marketer designation from Digital Marketer, the largest digital marketing training company in the nation, might be global. And then I started to do more coaching, mentoring, and all that. 2015, I launched the first version of what I call the print money formula, and had a similar result that I had back in 2009 with this particular product in terms of the initial response was incredible. Today, there's been, I can name off names you will probably know that didn't have anything out here in the marketplace of what I call taking what they know and turning that into cash flow. They walk around. Today, they're literal icons. I mean, they've got speaking engagements, they got products, they got training, courses, you name it, because that program got them to believe in who they are. They don't have to go outside of themselves to find the money. It's in us.
Absolutely.
So that is how I come to this place now. So the print money formula idea, the book, the course, the speaking, and all of that was really something that I stumbled upon in my own creativity, but it's been the strongest way that I've been able to support other people's vision to, live their dreams, whatever that might be, even as small as paying the rent that month because you don't have anybody to borrow from, you can't work enough overtime.
Right.
Funding your literal biggest, wildest, craziest dreams. It's in here. It's in us. God has given it to us. And so I'm using what I consider to be my passion to help people with this book and this training to bring people to this understanding, because everybody listening to me has it.
Wow. Well, I'm going to tell you, you gave us the taste of the print money formula, and I want to say about a year ago, and we've been living off of it since then. And to be quite honest, Brian talked to me. He knew you obviously longer than I did, and he spoke to me of it as you talked to him about it back in the day. And I think you were calling it walking around money.
I have a bunch of different names.
Yeah, but I think that's almost like a small component of the print money formula. And I don't want to steal your thunder. I want you to tell them what the walk around money part is, but I just want to share my thought around it. The walk around money is the breakthrough that you got to get to before you realize that you actually have the print money formula. You got to make that change in your pocket first. And with my clients, I call it the low-hanging fruit exercise. But please talk about that a little bit more and help us to see exactly what you said. The money is in us. It is in us.
So let's turn to our Bibles to Second Kings 4 verses 1 through 7, and this is the heart of what birthed this whole idea. If you go to the story, it's the widow's oil story, and in those 7 verses of scriptures, there's an amazing amount of wisdom and opportunity there that was uncovered. If you don't know, in just 30 seconds, there's a widow. She's very poor. She's crying out to the prophet, I don't have anything. What can I do? He asked, what do you have in your house? She said, and she's dirt poor. She says, I have nothing but this bottle of oil. That's all I got. Okay. The prophet saw that and gave her a 3-step plan. Plan step number 1 was to go borrow pots from all your neighbors. Okay. Mm-hmm. So she went out with her sons, collected pots. So you got to have something to store it in. Second thing he told her to do was take that oil and start pouring it into those pots. The Bible says that as long as there was pots, the oil flowed. When there were more pots, oil stopped flowing. Step 3, go sell the oil. And in verse 7, it says, not only was she able to pay off the debts that she was basically under, she was able to live on the rest. Mm-hmm. So hearing that, now here's the point. How many of us have found ourselves financially strapped or struggling, needing money, and feeling as if we have no choices? We can't go to the bank. We can't borrow the money. We can't get overtime. We can't sell enough stuff around the house. And we find ourselves positioned like the widow is. And my challenge is I take the place of the prophet that says, what's in your house?
That's house. Exactly what I do. Yes, absolutely.
And you may say, well, I don't have, like she said, I don't have nothing but this oil. You say, I don't have nothing but these braiding skills. I don't have nothing but this way to organize a closet. I don't have nothing but this freezer meal plan I've been doing. I have nothing but, we're so dismissive with our walk around knowledge because most of us, if not all of us, come away of conditioning through the educational system that we can only be compensated if somebody gives us an opportunity by way of or career. And so as long as we walk on those legs, we weaken the legs of power that God has given us to take this brain he gave us, the experiences, the failures, the training, you name it, the natural ability to love and encourage, whatever you might have. We have been educated out of the belief that it has value. And so we suffer from what my mentor Myron would call the debilitating disease of it's just me-itis. It's just me-itis. So now my mission is to tear all that out. Is I need you to see that oil for the real value that it is. It's collecting dust in your mind, and it's drawing to you the power that it really has. And so that is the whole premise of this thing, is that yes, we can go and sign up in a whole home-based business or get in an affiliate program or do all these different things, and there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But every morning when you wake up, you have $1 million worth of value in your head. And Lisa did something the other day in a video that had me want to run around my house like a church, like I'm at church, because the biggest battle I have in trying to get people to believe this is because on some level, they have fragmented understanding or fragmented knowledge of the subject. And here's what she said. Your 80% is somebody 159%.
Yes.
Think about that. Like your little bit of value that you know of that thing is enough to take somebody to their next level. And because we have these limiting beliefs, we start to suck it back inside of ourselves and we stay hurting financially and we cannot find the money because we just don't believe in ourselves enough. So we've got to break the bondage of somebody else has to validate my value. Somebody else has to validate my worth. Somebody else has to give me a piece of paper to hang on the wall to say I'm worthy of sharing what my grandmother taught me 35 years ago about how to do X, Y, Z. That's what this is all about. This is about transforming us or changing us into a place where we can literally do print money. And I've done it over and over and over. And anytime I can get somebody to sit still long enough and stop telling themselves what they can't do and what all that, if I can break through that and I can give them the focus, they tend to find money.
Absolutely.
So hopefully they understand the beginnings of this thing.
Absolutely. I think that is great. And so often I work with people who are having trouble assessing the value of what they have. Like you said, they are on a journey to be certified, validated, qualified, and all of those other things. When I think of that scripture, I think of the oil as the anointing, right? The oil was her anointing. That was what was left. That was what she had. And no one can take that from you. What you know is yours. It's uniquely yours. It's a collection of your own experiences in life. And like you said, there are people who would die to get a percentage of what you have, but we continue to look at what we have in relation to what we want, that we don't give it the value that it can actually have.
Yeah.
So how do you get somebody to move away from that?
Couple things. Let me tell you a couple of quick stories. There's a lady named Londy Jones who 3 years ago when I first launched this, sat and listened to a whole webinar of me talking about this. Ended up buying the training, and she's in her 60s, just took, just at the time, early 60s, had just became the guardian of her granddaughter, and they were both, you know, she was struggling to take care of her. So she listened to this training, and I got this whole story she wrote me. She said that when she went through the training, she had a hard time believing that she had value. But the thing that kept popping up in her mind is that she was always very good at traditions, creating traditions, right? So she decided to take it on faith that that was her oil, that that was the thing that she could pour out. Within a month, she had people paying her, flying her all over the country to drop into people's families and teach them how to have Thanksgiving tradition, Christmas tradition.
Wow.
She literally was being paid to fly in. They paid the airline ticket. She got there. They paid her money so that she could teach family tradition. The last thing that most people would even believe you can make money on. So she found that money.
And I think that's why it's so important not to listen to other people.
Right. Yeah.
I can just tell her, ain't nobody gonna pay you to do that. So how many times have you heard that about something that you were given in the middle of the night to get up and do, and messed it up because somebody else said, ain't nobody gonna pay nobody to do that?
And that is, and so when we're surrounded by people who, like I said a second ago, we all have the same condition. And it requires what I like to call scheduling the transformation. This is kind of a side note, but for T. Harv Eker says it this way. I just watched a video that he did, and he drew this T on the board, and he said, we exist in basically 4 different levels: emotional, mental, spiritual, physical. Okay, emotional, mental, spiritual, physical. And he said, what most people go wrong is that they recognize the physical is not what they want. So they spend a lot of time in the physical trying to fix the physical. But what they've missed is the real issue isn't physical. The real issue is in the emotions, mental, and spiritual side, the invisible. And he said, if you get serious about changing the things in the invisible, it's just a printout. The physical is just a printout of what the other 3 are. So we have people around us who have been mentally, emotionally, spiritually, ill-equipped to appreciate God inserting himself into your space. God has proven over and over and over again that the idea of creation means that in most cases, you don't need something to start with. You just need your mind. It takes money to make money. No, it does not.
No, it does not. I have taught people that, or tried to, forever. Right. Everybody is trying to figure out how to get the money, but you have it. Like, the wealth is already yours.
So back to your original question of how we start fixing that, the first thing that we have to do is we have to decide with work to believe that I am worthy and I have worth. Self-worth is, the word self in front of worth says something. It's my definition of worth. It's what I decide is worth, what it's worth. I have to make that decision that I'm worth sharing my value and being able to be compensated. So the exercise that I typically give somebody is pick something that you think has any level of value. And you know that because either somebody's always asking you about that one thing. Seems like every time you turn around, somebody's asking you a question about how to do something. That's an indication, right? The second thing you got to do is this sentence here. It's okay to ask them to pay. It's okay.
Somebody write that down. It's okay to ask them to pay.
Because now
somebody put that in there.
Yeah, because we're talking about an equitable exchange of value. In other words, if Lisa has knowledge, like you just talked, and I jumped on at the tail end there, about the list. Okay, I'm a speaker. I'm always trying, as soon as you, and by the way, I was going to hit you up anyway about this, but I'm a speaker. I'm always trying to find ways that I can get in the door. And you mentioned going on a virtual tour of podcasts and this, that, and the other. So now as a speaker, I'm leaning in. Guess what? I now recognize that value. And that's not even necessarily a thing you've done. That's a thing you've learned. And whether you've applied it or not in your own life is irrelevant. You have the wisdom. So now I'm leaning in and I recognize the value. And so now it's a matter of, will someone like Lisa just decide because she has low self-esteem or limiting belief in herself to just, oh, you know, I'm just going to give it. Or say, listen, for $20, you can download the whole list right now.
For $37, you can download the whole list right now. For $37, you can download the list right now.
Right, that's my point. So that the fact that she has access to that list or that knowledge is worth more than $37. But see, here's the thing that we miss is that because we have not understood the power of access, especially in the United States, we have access. And our access to experiences, our access to information and all of that gives us the power to be able to do whatever we want to do when we want to do it. And every goal that you think you would want to hit can be hit. I had a guy just the other day spent 5 years in prison for retaliating against someone who sexually assaulted his child. Spent 5 years in jail. Now watch this. He hit me up and he asked me, he said, I need to make some money. I can't get a job. I can't get this. I can't get that. And I said, how much money do you need in order to take care of your business and survive? He said, I need at least $1,800 a month to take care of business, which isn't a lot. Wow. That boils down to $60 a day.
Yeah.
0. And so I said, do this. Make a list of everything that you know how to do and don't qualify. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you know how to clean gum off the bottom of your shoe. I need you to open your mind to listing everything that's potentially valuable in you. So he wrote 50 things. And I said, I want you to pick the top 5 that you can walk out your front door right now and go out here and get value. Now, what he didn't do, which he missed when I got up the next day and saw his list, I said, look, you spent 5 years in prison. I said, is it possible in 5 years that there's 10 stories in prison that you either were part of or saw that not only could be shocking, funny, sad, or whatever, but not just telling the story, you could say, this is what I learned from that situation.
Absolutely.
So that's your print money formula. Tell your story of what happened with your daughter and all of that. I mean, if you got your picture of tell your story in the front and say, these are the top 10 lessons that I learned while I sat in prison, paying for a crime that I did. I said that. Now, $60 a day, bro, I said, you can sell that for $7, $8, $9, $10 a watt, man. It becomes not a matter of hustle. He was really pumped up because he didn't see it. He didn't really see it. But when I explained it to him, he started to understand. So you got
to just interject there, that is critical. And that's one of the first things that I do when I'm working with any client is to get them to do that exercise. I call it the low-hanging fruit exercise. But what I have found oftentimes is they start qualifying it. And I have done as much as I can to try to get people to understand not to qualify the list. Oh, well, I can't do that part and I don't have enough money to make that work and I don't do this and I don't know how to do that and nobody's going to pay for that. It's supposed to be an exhaustive dump of the information, and then you go back and you identify the top 5 things that you believe people will most effectively, expeditiously pay you for. Now, how do you help people to move past that qualifying piece?
So I have this exercise that I do, and this is at the very beginning that I say, I want you to write down, I say, what is the money amount that you need to make? Let's say it's $1,000, okay? And I said, I want you to take out a piece of paper. And I said, there's rules to this. I said, because what we have to do is I have to teach you how to retrain your brain to bring you answers because you're so used to telling your brain not to bring you anything by saying, well, I don't know how to do that. And your brain goes, I don't either. Okay. You say, I don't know where I'm going to go. And your brain goes, I don't either. But there's a way.
Somebody put that in there. Retrain your brain. Somebody needs to get that. That was hot right there. Retrain your brain. So somebody needs to put that in there. Go ahead, keep going.
I call it backing your brain into a corner because if you back your brain into a corner, you force it to do what you ask it to do. And most people have never done that to their brain. So sometimes this can be painful and take a minute, but let me get into it. So I said, if you want to make $1,000, here's what I want you to do. Write the following sentence down. I know exactly what I need to do next to make $1,000. And that is I said, now write that down and get quiet. And I said, so the words that are in that phrase have everything you need to back your brain into the corner to bring you the next thing you need to do, not the whole thing, the next thing. So when I teach them this exercise, they get uncomfortable because they want to say, well, I just don't know. I said, you're not allowed to say anything. Either you can say nothing or repeat the sentence out loud and nothing else. I know exactly what I need to do next. And that is, and so what will happen is you'll sit there and your mind is now cramping because you've never forced it to give you an answer. And so I said, everything that's coming up in you that you starting to dismiss and push down and not believe, you got to fight it off. If you got to say this sentence 25, 30, 35 times, you're going to eventually allow yourself the freedom to write down the most ridiculous thing that comes to mind. Here's an example of that. When I first did this for myself, I sat down. My wife said she wanted to have a decent Christmas, is how she put it to me. Okay. I said, what's a decent Christmas? She said, I want to be able to take like $800 and just be able to do a nice Christmas. You know, we got a lot of kids, so $800 is not a lot of money. But to her at that time, that was a decent Christmas. So I sat down and I wrote $800 down. Now, you when I tell you the story. So I wrote down $800 and I said, okay, I know exactly what I need to do next to make this $800, and that is, and I kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And then the following 3 words came to mind. Guaranteed winner raffle. Okay. Now that sounds absolutely like I had fallen and bumped my head, right? Because when you think about a raffle, there's nothing guaranteed about a raffle. It's a random act. But Hertz guaranteed winner raffle came to mind. I wrote it down because I knew enough not to qualify. I said, okay, so guaranteed winner raffle. And so now I did it again. I said, so now as it relates to this guaranteed winner raffle, I know exactly what I need to do next. And that is, so what started happening is I started listing all of these things that started off a guaranteed winner raffle. Here's what birthed out of that.